alaikum. कैसे हैं आप लोग? Did you guys get some rest? Are you excited for another full day of presentations? Well, whether you like it or not, we have another packed day for you, but it's only going to be half a day. So, like TCF goes, if we have half a day, we just pack twice the stuff in that half a day. So we would like to go ahead and get started with a recap of what we went through and learned yesterday. So if I can have the presentation. All right, here we go. Can we get this light setting slightly down, like we just had it a minute ago? There we go. All right, thank you. So we started with an update from Pakistan. Asad Sahab gave us a presentation and brought us up to speed about what has been happening in Pakistan. And as we learned that during COVID, while it was raging all across the world, TCF Pakistan was putting together a carefully orchestrated response to COVID-19. And it was not only a concern about our kids, but the overall impact on the families and our teachers and our staff. So there were about 110 million Pakistani rupees that were distributed across 45,000 households across 250 communities as COVID was happening in order to take care of the people that make up TCF. So that was a great achievement. The other thing that we decided to do in Pakistan was during COVID, certain things were falling behind from an infrastructure perspective. So about 500 million rupees were spent to ensure that our schools were properly repaired and geared up to bring back our kids when the in-person learning resumed. As far as network planning was concerned, about 24% of our students, unfortunately, still don't have access to secondary schools. So within the last year or so, there were about 88 second shifts that were started. And then we learned about Project Taluk, which is basically creating a database and by conducting surveys and creating student and family profiles. And so far, about 200,000 surveys have been conducted our total student population is about 280,000, but it's amazing that we have been able to reach and get data from about 200,000 of our students already. So that is a summary of what we heard from Pakistan. And then we heard from Arif Bhai about what TCF USA has been up to. And he and Salman gave us what we have been doing and where we plan to go. So TCF USA, as we all know, has been expanding significantly, and we are proud to provide about 40% of the total TCF funds to TCF Pakistan. And last year alone, we did about 20 million. We raised about $20 million from TCF USA. And so far, we have built and are supporting about 280 schools. Despite the challenges that were, of course, encountered due to COVID and fundraising during the COVID pandemic. In addition to that, I think we are all very proud of this fact that Charity Navigator has been rating us, giving us the 4-star, their maximum rating for the past several years, and we are among the top 8% of the charities in the US who were evaluated for accountability and transparency. The other fact that makes us all proud is that there are only about 10% of charities operating in the US right now who indicated an increase in their revenues during the COVID pandemic, and we are one of them. So. All right, then we heard from Kamlani Sahab about the programs. And on that front, there were a number of things. It was just a lot of information and all very good. So I'll just try to summarize it as best as I can. But there has been significant improvement on several fronts that has been made. There has been a conscious effort that has been put in to create better environments for the younger of our students. So there's an initiative called the Early Years Room Design, which is now being rolled out across our schools, and it focuses on creating a more interactive and a more ergonomic environment for our younger learners, with specially painted walls and special furniture, which makes it easier for them to feel at home and learn without any difficulties. Then we also heard about the various programs that have been rolled out to empower our learners, including storybooks, science labs, and digital learning. And we heard Sania Saeed recite that story about Iman, the science done, and I just loved that. So I'm sure our kids are benefiting from that approach as well. On the digital learning front, we found out that we have moved from a limited number of desktops that used to be available in each school to basically providing tablets for each and every student. So we are making big strides on that front. Now, regarding inputs, Zia Sahab gave us an update on that, and we found out that expanding our approach into digital fundraising and have employed a best-in-class digital agency. And as we move to approach major donors, the various projects that we have identified are digital transformation, solar installation, and secondary schools. So that, of course, is a lot of work when you think about the fact that there are more than 1,800 schools now. So good luck, Zia Sahab. Then in the afternoon, we had a couple of breakout sessions. First, one of them was conducted by Dr. Adil and Mavish, who helped create, who helped develop profiles, donor profiles. Then I think there were 5 donor profiles that were identified, and with the help of the participants, they were discussed in the best ways to pitch TCF to the different types of donors that we come across. In the second session, Fakhia and Eric and Aisha led us through a conversation in which we highlighted the need of bringing in new donors. To wrap it up, we had a session about planned giving, which we at TCF USA, we firmly believe a donor gives about 200.7 times their lifetime giving if they plan it through this program called Planned Giving. So we have hired a planning on giving officer and are partnering with a focused resource to expand our options in this space. And we hope to start reaching out to our donors starting spring of next year, inshallah. So that was a summary of what went on yesterday. And as I said, we have a packed program today as well. So without further ado, we would like to get into it. But before I invite our next speaker, just want to remind
once I mute it, you can't hear it. I'm just testing it here.
You have to have a conversation, please take it outside the room. And we will have breaks. So please make sure you come back from breaks so that on time so that we can stay on schedule. Questions again, you know by now how to submit questions through Pulse. If time permits, we'll take live questions as well. But one thing that we would like to also do again is take your feedback through Pulse polls throughout the day. So keep your cell phones handy. All right, for this next segment,